other aspect that we've seen is the BJP, especially Mr. Madhuswamy, the law minister, went on the floor of the House saying that perhaps it's time to look at a law that stops people from mocking constitutional heads, whether the chief minister, whether the governor or speaker or others. Mr. Ramakrishna Upadhyaya, do you believe that's required? Won't it infringe on someone's freedom of speech? We've had a rich legacy of cartoonists criticizing the governments. We've had Hiranya's dramas and plays criticizing the government. Do we need a law now? Have we reached that stage?
I don't think so. I mean, that is stretching things too far. Just because of this campaign, you cannot make a law saying that, the governors and CMs and others cannot be criticized. Then what about ministers? Then what about MLAs? What about MLCs? They all also want the protection from any kind of criticism. So that is not something that can be, advocated in democracy. In democracy, there are means by which you can fight this. You can file a defamation case. You can take the person to court. I mean, all these things are there. So I don't think a law is required to protect them. After all, it is their personality which has to protect them. And if they've done something wrong, it has to be brought to the notice of the public.
Okay, I'll go back to Mr. Suresh. Mr. Suresh, why is the BJP talking about a different legislation to stop mocking of constitutional heads? And also, if the government is constantly talking about corruption during Siddaramaya's regime, why are we not seeing any investigation happening?
Of course, there are investigations happening, Harish. If you look at the kind of, negative, display of politics that is done by the Congress today, they have stooped to an all-time low level. Putting the poster of a democratically elected chief minister and making an absolutely baseless allegation. Have you seen till today a single written complaint filed in the Lokayukta or in the court against any of the BJP leaders or ministers? Have you seen any document released by D.K. Shivkumar, Siddaramaiah or any of them saying in this department, in this particular minister has taken this much of bribe? Any documentary evidence released so far? What they are doing is totally despicable. And if you look at Congress in the last 8 to 10 years, very, very clearly you will see that they have lost 90% of the elections, Harish. The last nail in the coffin of the Congress will be hit in Karnataka. You mark this word.
Mr. Suresh, just before the session started, you had the Energy Minister, Mr. Sunil Kumar, saying that power purchase agreements, especially during D.K. Shivkumar's regime as the Energy Minister, they would in a way investigate it or at least get a legal opinion on it. But we haven't seen anything. The entire 10-day session is over, but we haven't seen a counter-offensive from the BJP yet.
We have released a dossier personally. We have listed down all the scams. There are 52 cases pending against Siddaramaiah, and a lot of these are court-monitored probes. If you look at D.K. Shivkumar and the kind of investigation that is going on, of course, on one hand you ask, Harish, why you are not investigating? When somebody like D.K. Shivkumar is being thoroughly investigated, they cry political victimhood. So you can't have it both ways. D.K. Shivkumar also is facing inquiry and he is out on bail right now. The National Herald case, look at all these leaders, Harish, look at their background. Every single person is facing a serious corruption charge. They're out on bail. What naitikata they have, what moral stature they have to come and make accusations.
Aishwarya Mahadev, people of the state want to know if the Congress believes that there is corruption, would they just protest inside the assembly and outside the assembly? Would the Congress also approach Lokayukta or the Karnataka High Court, now that the Lokayukta is functioning thanks to the Karnataka High Court?
Harish, a few rebuttals. First of all, he talks about how can you speak about a democratically elected head of a state like that. Let me remind you that it was the Prime Minister Modi himself, who is from your glorified party, who spoke about Mr. Siddaramaiah, who is a democratically elected head of another state. And we remember what sort of speeches he was making. So you are nobody to sit and give us lectures about this one. Second thing, has anybody made allegations? Has anybody reported? Yes, the last time somebody tried to talk about it publicly, they ended up committing suicide. You might dismiss the Congress's claims. You might say anything that you want, sir. But when the common man on the street, from your KPTCL to your PSI to gunny sacks to eggs to shoes to school textbooks, to basically medicine dispensaries. You're seeing corruption in every walk of life. And it is rich in rank irony for you to sit and talk about any of my leadership when we know the way that you use institutions. What is Mr. Yediyurappa, sir? What are the Reddy brothers, sir? What is Krishnaya Chetty, sir? What is Katta Subramania Naidu, sir? Please do not even sit and try to preach about the fact that you had about any of my leadership. Your entire chief minister, you had three chief minister, your chief minister went to jail also. So please,
we are running out of time.
do not.
I'll